Hey, welcome to a new series that I'm going to be starting. Welcome back, viewers. So I'm just going to level you guys. This video is going to be very rambly. I'm just going to do some spreadsheet work, so feel free to just put this on in the back. I've turned the music up a little bit more so you guys can hear it a little bit better. And I'm just going to do some spreadsheet work for my game project. As you guys know, I have a game project called Geolithica, and it's basically like an Overwatch Valorant crossover. It's basically just it's just a gigantic game where you can pick any hero you want, and it's like there's thousands. I'm currently trying to get to 2,000. I think I'm on. Actually, I think I have the number here. I know you guys can't see one of my screens. I have two screens on. I'm basically just going to be transposing all my characters, but that's not what you're probably wondering about. This video is basically just going to be me talking about the Iman Khalif story in the Olympics, but also covering some things that haven't really been covered that much by a lot of other people. Some local news, some family news, some work news. So basically what I would say for this video is that I'm going to do some videos like this where I'm just doing some spreadsheet work, and it's basically just going to be you guys I don't really know how to say this, but you're basically just going to be listening to me talk about all the things that are currently happening in the world. And if you don't like those types of videos, it's okay if you want to click off, but if you do, then that's cool as well. If you want to know what I'm working on, the best way I can describe it is I am making a game where there are a lot of hero concepts, and so I'm arranging them all into alphabetical order. This will be a painful process, and I decided I'd rather be making content than spending hours a day not making content, because like I've said before, I want to get to a point where I'm making some ad revenue off my videos, and I also want your guys' comments on that. I know most of you have probably already clicked off or don't really care, but if you guys could write down in the comments, what do you think is the best place to put ads to where it's not a disappointment for you guys? Like, do you want me to put them in the description, what time they're in? Because we're not far away from ads, but we're also still pretty far. We're about 80% of the way to advertisements on this channel being allowed, and so I just want to level with you guys that it's going to happen, because just like most people, not a big YouTuber, just trying to make rent money as usual. So hopefully you guys will understand, and maybe some of you can write down in the comments what is the least painful way to put ads. Do you like mid-rolls, ads at the beginning, ads at the end? Just tell me which ones, because I'm probably just going to try and make sure that I'm doing one mid-roll per video, 8-minute to 10-minute video as usual, but you know, I don't want to make you guys feel, I don't want to, I know how ads are annoying, so I just wanted to tell you guys about that. Alright, so I'm up to 1,700 heroes, so that's 1,700 for people who don't know what 1,700 means. But yeah, so I'm going by wave. I'm currently up to wave 21. So this is wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm basically putting all of them in alphabetical order, and then once they're in alphabetical order, then I'm gonna color code them. Well, they're already color coded, so I'm gonna keep the color code, but I'm gonna try and make it so that, you know, I do AA, then AB, then AC, AD, you know, all the way to AX, and then go to Bs. But I'm going to be the character name, the color represents what role they are. If you don't know what the role standard is, then I can get a key for you, just in case you're interested. Let me put this right here, just so you guys are okay with that. So as you can see, Crimson, Destroyer, Attack, Hybrid, Aid, which is basically support, Buffer, which is tank, Protector, defensive hero, Attack is offensive hero, Aerial, people can fly, Diversion, flanky type, mobile type heroes, and NA is someone who's undecided. Like, their role is undecided, And then this is their play style. There's a lot of different play styles. Obviously, Ahana's a mage, so there's different play styles you get to see. But right now, I'm just trying to do alphabetical order, and then I'll fill in the play styles so you guys can see that. Alright, so I'm going to begin working on this, and we're just going to ramble about, I guess we'll start with the political thing. I would just say, I'll probably put in the video when the political discussion stops, but I'm just going to state some facts about the thing, and you guys can make your own assertions. So Iman Khalif is an Algerian boxer who is competing in the Olympics. Her birth certificate, which was reviewed by the IOC, International Olympics Committee, shows her as she was born a female. Now, there is a controversy that the way she looks makes her look like a man. Now, I'm gonna just look up her name. I don't know how to spell it, but yes, I did not spell it correctly. So she doesn't look, yeah, so now I'm just gonna say, yes, if you didn't know this was a girl, then I could understand why you couldn't understand if that's a girl. But that's what she looks like, and yeah, so that's the political conspiracy, is that she's a man competing in the Olympics. Now, I don't go into trans politics because I don't really want to. I don't want to go into politics, so I'm just going to lay out some facts. And if you don't like the facts, that's fine. I will link 3 articles in the description that will talk about this whole story if you want to get the facts and the sources. I've read them a little bit, but I don't want to go over articles because at this point, I just want to talk facts, and I just want to talk to you guys and try and be as non-political as possible. So she is a biological female, and the reason why people are getting worked up about this is because she looks like a man. Now, as I have probably met in my life, a lot of people that look like men but are actually women. We've all had, well, no, I can't say all of us, but most people have probably had an experience where they went up to someone and thought they were a man but they're really a woman, or they thought they were a woman but they're really a man. My kryptonite is men with long hair, like Moist Critical, better known as Charlie. He's like a YouTuber who like does kind of what I'm doing, except he just like sits and plays video games while talking about stuff. Whenever I see a man with long hair like Charlie from the back, I think they're a woman. That's just something if I'm just like on a bus and I see them in front of me, I'll think they're a woman. Then I'll walk past and be like, oh, that's a man. So I mean, we've all had that experience, and if you haven't had that experience, well, good for you. You're one of the few people who are lucky enough to not have that experience. But you will eventually. It'll happen to everybody. If it hasn't happened to you already, then good for you. So yeah, I'm actually going to do something different. I was going to do it alphabetically, but I'm just going to do it by wave. It's better. So ID comes, yeah. I actually think this is already in alphabetical order. Okay. So what are the 3 main arguments that are factually based? So first, she's from Algeria. So people who are claiming that she's a trans athlete. Algeria is a theocratic Muslim nation, Islamic nation. If you don't know about Islam, it's very similar to evangelical Christianity in that it does not have tolerance for any person of the LG plus community. If you're gay, lesbian, trans in a theocratic country that doctrinates its laws around and government around religion, you will know that if she was actually trans, she would be dead or at least in jail. Now, well, firstly, most Islamic countries, if you're gay, you get the death penalty regardless because it's a sin. So that's the same in evangelical Christian sense as well. The best thing I can say is Mussolini, back in Italy, would basically just sentence people who are degenerates to death. So same thing in Islamically theocratic countries. Algeria is where Iman Khalif comes from, so as I'm just going to say, If she was gay or trans, if she was trans, she would have been put to death before she would have ever stepped foot in the Olympics. They would have only sent their best. That's what every country does. So I know people won't agree with me, but I will link an article down in the description below that will show that, yes, Algeria is not tolerant to the LG plus community. They're a theocracy, a religious theocracy. Religion doesn't do good with LG plus people. So if she was a trans woman, she would have been killed in her country before she was sent to the Olympics. And that's not a and if anybody wants to say, well, maybe that should have happened, screw you. Just screw you. So next thing is the IBA. The IBA was the International Boxing Association, which was founded and backed by the Russians. So in an earlier Olympic season, Aman Khalif went up against a Russian boxer and beat her straight up. Like, she, wiped the floor with this person. This Russian boxer was, completely destroyed in this fight. And the Russian IBA said, we don't like that you embarrassed our country. You're from Algeria, you're a poor country, why are you beating up our people? So they basically said, you know what, we think you're not a woman. We think you're a man. So they did an investigation, and they found that she was a woman. Now, this is a Russian-backed organization in the Olympic Games that after a woman who was certified originally by the IOC to be a woman competing in the Olympics did a post-investigation after the Russian fighter lost and declared she was a woman. So already there are two major problems. It's a Russian-backed organization where they're investigating a fighter that just beat one of their own. So automatic red flag for anybody who understands how Russia works. They don't like to lose, and they're not gonna just take it. They're not gonna let you just defeat them without fighting it. Usually they just take a bunch of steroids, but this was modern day Olympics, and steroid tests are now required, and they're more strict. So Russia doesn't really get away with steroids that much anymore. But so what happened? Russia basically just investigated this fighter and said, hey, we don't like that you won against one of our super soldier-like fighters, so we're not gonna allow this ruling to stand. Basically, we're not gonna allow you to win this fight. We're gonna say a technicality, you're a woman, we have no evidence to prove that you're a woman, but we're just gonna say you're a woman, and so in that regard, then you're gonna have to forfeit and give us the medal. So the IOC, the International Olympic Committee, didn't take this that well, and they struck down the IBA's ruling, and the IBA was no longer allowed to control, launch investigations. They were stricken of their authority. They couldn't make any decisions on boxing tournaments in the Olympics. They weren't recognized by the IOC anymore. So the IBA, the Russian-backed firm that basically declared falsely that she was not a woman, they're no longer recognized. They're no longer seen as credible. So now we have two factors that go against this. She is a woman, and if she was a trans woman, she would have been put to death in her home country, because her home country's just doesn't allow women, trans women, to exist. And then number two, the only reason why we think that she's a woman is because we would believe a Russian-backed boxing organization that is declared no longer credible by every Olympic committee. And the cherry on top is the reason why they say that she's not a woman is because she beat their boxer straight up in a fight. So they're just being salty bitches. Okay, and finally, the last argument that I can say is people say that her testosterone levels are too high. So a lot of people don't associate female. A lot of people think that estrogen is the female hormone and testosterone is the male hormone. And I just think that we need to like discuss a little bit about that. I think that you're technically correct in associating estrogen with females, but you do realize that testosterone is not just a male hormone, right? Females can produce testosterone as well. 1/4 of the testosterone, you know the thing that most people think is just a male hormone. Testosterone is basically strength juice. It levels your anxiety. It makes your vitality. It makes you more I don't want to say fortified, because that makes it kind of just feels like it actually makes you like stronger and stuff. Like you can have high testosterone but still be weak. But let's just say it makes you motivated. It's strength juice. It makes it so that you feel like you can do anything. And women actually produce 25% of their testosterone in the ovary, which means that 75% is produced not for sexual purposes. So when females train, they can still produce testosterone. So the fact that Iman Khalif is being labeled as a man for producing testosterone, that's just stupid, because every woman produces testosterone. Now there's some that don't, because there are some disease, and there are some men that also don't produce it too. Intersex people who are born with an extra X or an extra Y extra Y or extra X chromosome, so they're intersex. They show either more male or more female traits, and they're neither gender. They could come out as male but literally be like biologically female. I mean, there's it's a very rare disease, but I know Klinefelter's is the double X. I don't know what the double Y is, but I know there's also people like me who have some chromosomal diseases that make it so that you're not as anxiety driven, stuff like that. And obviously Down syndrome. I don't have Down syndrome. That's not the chromosomal disease. I'm not gonna say what chromosomal disease I have, but it's not Down syndrome. It's mine is more related to mood swings than anything else. But Down syndrome is another chromosomal disease. There's a lot of chromosome disease. But anyway, we're getting off topic. Just the fact is, women can produce testosterone, and some can produce. Most produce less than men. I mean, men produce testosterone on like an astronomical, exponentially more than women rate. But women still produce testosterone. So just because women do produce testosterone doesn't mean that they should be labeled as a man, because they're not. They're just biologically, producing more testosterone than normal, which is fine. That just means that they're different. They're not doing. That doesn't mean that they're a man. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but you always meet people in the world that are different than you. And if you met someone who had a disease that made them a little bit better than you in a competition, but like they struggled interpersonally with it, then I don't think you would like. Let's say someone is in a school and they have OCD, so it means they're more organized. Are you gonna like say like that, and they have like the teacher like praises them for being very organized? Are you gonna like shout in your teacher and be like, how dare you give them parental treatment because they have OCD, which means they're gonna be more organized because they can't resist not being organized? No, because in that situation you'd be a dick. So, I mean, let's just call a spade a spade. If you're basically mad at someone just because of something that's natural about them that you can't change, you can't just like, you are just a douche at that point. But the main thing here is that Iman Khalif is a woman. She was biologically tested as a woman, The only reason why people think she's a man is because the IBA, which was Russian-backed, did a faulty investigation to say that she was a woman because she straight up beat a Russian boxer in a fight, and it wasn't close. And so, instead of realizing that their fighter was just, not prepared for that situation, and someone was just better than their fighter, they decided to take the cowardice route and make an entire big stink about it. So yeah, that's the Iman Khalif situation. I'm not gonna talk about it for any more. The last 5 minutes, we're just gonna talk about some thing that's a little bit lighthearted, and I'm just gonna put a little thing at the description of the video to not talk about, because it's the end of the political segment. So that's Iman Khalif. I'll post 3 articles in the description so you guys can read about the situation. If you don't want to read, then that's fine. You can just listen to this video over and over again until you can understand it a bit more. But she's a woman, and if she wasn't a woman, and if she was like a trans woman, she's in Algeria, which is a religious theocracy, an Islamic theocracy, that would probably put her to death for being a trans woman. So if she was a trans woman, she wouldn't be here. She would have been put to death or at least jailed in that country for being who she was, which is wrong. But of course, it's not as bad as what people are saying. People are just making a big stink because she's good. She's good at fighting, and I mean, it's just stupid, okay? It's just stupid. So that's going to be the end of the political discussion. Today we're going to be talking, and now we're going to be talking about something a little bit more lighthearted. So, as you can see here, I'm doing some data right here, and I know this is kind of boring, so I'm going to show you what my other screen looks like. And I'm going to talk to you about some data organization points, because I'm going to show you what bad organization looks like. So here, let's see if this loads on OBS. Alright, so you can see this on OBS. This is my this is all the characters that I've made. So the best thing I can say about this is that I did originally try to make this more organized by numbering all the characters, but I didn't do that. I stopped at 40 because I got bored, and I didn't want to drink a Red Bull or Monster Energy because I didn't want to waste it. So the best thing I can say about data organization is that there's positives and negatives to my data organization. Alphabetical order is pretty good. Numbering it is pretty good. Obviously I didn't try to number it, but at least I mean, I did try, but I also just sucked at it, so. And then waves. So I made waves 100 characters each, and as you can see, some waves don't have 100 characters. This is just because when I was making the waves, I organized them to categories of characters or time periods. So I developed Wave 1 in 2016 through 2017, Wave 2 2018, Wave 3, 2019 to 2020, and then Wave 4 was 2020, before COVID, and then during COVID over the summer, I got through Wave 5 all the way to Wave 8. And then in 2021, I began Wave 9, and then so on, so on. I got through, as you can see down here, Wave 1 through 4, 5 to 8, 9 to 12, 13 to 16, all the way to 21. I'm currently working on 21. I have started some of 22 and 23, but they're not complete. The complete waves are over here. And that's why the description separates them. These are all complete, these are incomplete. So, why am I showing you this? I'm showing them this to say, don't do this. Do not do like this. The best thing I can say for you is that you need to make this paper. At some point, I'm gonna have to convert all this to paper, because paper is the only way to make things permanent. If this whole sheet gets struck down, online and I can't find a way to get it back, then I'm completely fricked. So, I mean, I would lose 1,700 heroes. Now, I have made files before, and I do have a file like this, but I only update the file every month. So, because every single day I'm adding new things. I'm changing things, updating ability sets, cooldowns, artistic renders, cosmetics. So I'm basically going to end the video by just saying, don't do organization like this. I would do organization better, and that's what I'm going to do for this new one. As you can see, this is Heroes 5, and this is Heroes 7. Hero 6 is just all cosmetic stuff, and I'm going to have to make a new cosmetic thing, because the cosmetic thing is also fricked, but it's not as bad as this. I'm going to have to make a paper trail for all this, but don't worry. The best thing I can say for you guys is just watch a few videos on how to do organization, and don't organize your sheets like this. If you're doing a video game product and you're making characters, don't just make them in alphabetical order, add a name, what they are, and then what number they are in your creation process. Just don't do that. Do something else. Do something a little bit more complex, like here. Like, this is what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to replicate this, but adding all the new characters that I've made. Because I made this back when I finished Wave 8, so there's nothing from Wave 9 to 20. So that's 11 waves of characters that I don't even have on here. So I need to get them to... I'm just going to be remaking this entire sheet. It's going to take a long time, but I'm just going to do some rambling videos because I think it's better for me to do political videos or politically charged videos like this. So anyway, that is going to be the ending of this video about Amon Khalif and also some data organization stuff. My next video is probably going to be a little bit less like this. I'm trying to make Minecraft not laggy, but I think it's going to be laggy until I get a new processing chip. I need to get something that's going to help my computer run Minecraft better, because it runs Minecraft great, it just, when OBS is involved, it just turns everything into lag. So that's going to be the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like if you like, dislike if you don't, subscribe if you like it. I'm trying to make it to 500 subscribers, which is the ad monetization limit. If I get to 500 subscribers, then we can put ads on the channel. And comment down below if you want to comment where I should put ads. Do you like them in the beginning, middle, and end? Comment below what your thoughts on the Olympic boxing controversy is. I'll link all the articles for my sources. Have a good day. Have a beautiful day today, and toodaloo.